Hi, welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. Just want to share with you about 7 priorities of a gas engineer. In this video, it's basically to make you assess your priorities. Priorities are important. Sometimes when we're working, we have the wrong priorities about how we go about things. Let's have a look at my priorities as an engineer and tell me if you have different priorities or if you think that I should see things differently and not have things in a certain order. So let's have a look. Number 7 in my list is aim to give builders a good name. You can change the reputations of, you can have an influence on gas engineers in the industry, on builders, by the way you conduct yourself. If every engineer went out and behaved in a bad manner, drives bad, doesn't speak to the client, goes in and grunts, behaves in a bad way, it has a ripple effect. It's contagious. Other engineers behave the same way. It's good to try to present yourself well. So when people see, the client sees you, they see somebody who a reasonably well-dressed engineer and somebody who speaks politely to the client and so on. Literally, like you could be put in a suit and you wouldn't seem out of place because the way you conduct yourself. So give builders a good name. I'm sure once you get to a point, you may be there already, that you have been thrown in the deep end. I don't mean the deep end of the swimming pool, but I mean the deep end of the sea in terms of engineering experience. Some companies you work for won't be put under much pressure. There are other companies that you work for and you'll be thrown in the deep end. There'll be no one holding your hand. You'll just be thrown into certain situations where you have thousands of people waiting for you to fix something. When you experience that kind of pressure, it brings out something in you. Either you crumble and quit or you excel and learn. And basically, when you do get to that stage and you start learning more and more, you need to pass that information on. So you have to give that, it's good to give that information to others. So strive to get better and better and better at your trade and then pass that information on. So that's priority number 6, is learn as much as you can and learn from your errors and the situations you're in when you're under pressure, so you fight a better battle next time, and pass information on to others. When you're only as good as the engineers around you sometimes. So if you've got engineers around you and you are not passing on any information to them and you're keeping it to yourself, when you're in trouble, they won't be able to help you much. And also, you'll be cleaning up after them because they'll be creating a lot of errors and creating a rod for your own back. And you'll be having to run around cleaning up their mess. When they're good, it will give you less work. Remember, you're a cash cow. Yep. Gas engineers are cash cows. They make money. If you're in the hands of the right manager, they will make loads of money from you. You may only get paid a couple of £100 a day, but they're able to make thousands from you. So be a cash cow for them. Remember that that's what you are there to basically make manager money, but go about it in the right way. Even if you're working for yourself, you can still earn a lot of money by working honestly. I've worked for many companies where from the get-go, they're asking me to lie, cheat, steal as much as possible. As soon as I'm working for them, they want me to make up things and so on. I've had clashes with managers where they've told me to go somewhere and say it was something and I've refused. I've said to them, we can make money in the right way. And I think also you should try to do the same. Okay, don't shoot yourself in the foot. If you get a diagnosis wrong, you don't necessarily need to go and say to the customer, I've made a mistake. I've got the wrong part here. I mean, you can still try and fix it or go about it in the right way without shooting yourself in the foot. But what I'm trying to say is don't go around intending to lie and cheat to make money. I know people do it and I know you get encouraged to do it, but it's not necessary. You have to be good at what you do often in order to be able to make money honestly. In my opinion, I believe you have to be good. Well, when you intend to be, it points the finger at yourself and your errors when you make them. So you have to be careful with your tongue. But nonetheless, you can still make money for your company or for yourself by being honest. People will trust you more. Like attracts like, so you'll get the right people around you when you strive to be honest and work diligently. I believe this is point number 4, and this is don't get involved in gossip, nor be the initiator of gossip. When you hear anybody putting down the manager or putting down other colleagues, don't promote it. Yeah, don't get involved, because next minute later, when your back is turned, they'll be stabbing you in the back and be putting you down. So do not get involved with gossipers and be aware of them. And I hope that you're not one of them. I'm sure we are all guilty of sometimes getting involved in gossiping about other engineers and bringing their name down. but it's not really good. You don't need to actually physically kill someone to actually kill them. You can kill their character. You can kill how people look about them. No need. It breaks up teams. It's unnecessary. We don't need to rip up people's character in order to elevate our own. You can get a good reputation without putting others around you down. So there's no need to gossip. If you're talking about another engineer and so on, so make it be that you're doing it for their best interest and not to just bring them down. So be quiet. Try not to get involved in gossip. I believe we're on point 3 now. This is planned preventative maintenance. This will be set up often by your company for you to go in somewhere and look for where things have gone wrong, or look where things may go wrong, or where things are going wrong already, how they can be prevented from getting worse. So the client isn't snookered with a repair at the wrong time. So for instance, doing like summer repairs or a drain down or of a block, that can happen in the more warmer months. So if you identify that, that's good. But don't rely only upon when you've been sent to a PPM. Any situation, you don't have to turn the blind eye all the time. When you walk into a plant room, for instance, if you see something's not right, flag it up. At least later on, it covers your back when someone says, what happened with this? You can say, well, I told you several months ago and put it in writing that this needs to be done. It's happened now. Do not expect me to fix this boiler under pressure in 5 minutes simply because you let it run down when I was telling you it was. Flag thing number 2 on the list. If you're a boiler man, consider yourself a boiler paramedic. There'll be times when you're working when you have loads of work on, and other times where you may not have much on. Some of you may have work on non-stop. When you do not have much work on, when the time comes for you to take that shot, I mean, they have no services such as cold water. That's not one of the worst things, isn't it? No cold water is high level priority. No cold water. Or there's a gas leak. That's also high level priority. Nonetheless, and also no hot water. That's also a high level priority. As a commercial engineer, when you go to a building where there's like 1,000 people who have got no cold water at all, or there's no hot water, it's a catastrophe. Like, it's a disaster. Heating is bad, but heating sometimes you can sometimes still survive depending on what time of the year it is without heating. And it depends how vulnerable you are. But remember that you are a boiler paramedic or a plant room paramedic, and you need to put that high on your list. Therefore, if you come into a situation where you're working somewhere and they have no hot water, no heating, and it's your time to go home, I strongly recommend that you do some overtime. You can get paid for it. Even if I personally am not getting paid for the overtime I'm doing, I just on my reputation and on duty of care, I will try to fix hot water, cold water. It's different if I have 3 or 4 boilers in a plant room and 1 or 2 of them are not working and the services are still running. That can wait to another day. But if I'm in a situation where there's a building and it may be one person, but normally in the commercial circumstances, you've got 1,000 people or more without hot water. It could be, you could have a couple hundred people or 1,000 or a couple of thousand without hot water or cold water. And to get on, it's disruptive. It causes problems. It needs to be fixed. And you need to do all that you can to fix it. If you can't fix it, bring someone who can fix it. If you can't fix it, call somebody on the phone that's going to give you advice to. Take a break, go back and try and fix it. Do all you can to fix the high priority call outs. Many times where I've done it and I've seen other engineers walk away from a call out where they couldn't fix it. And then somebody goes behind afterwards and just presses a button and then it's on. Don't let that happen. So do not walk away from a job where there's no hot water, there's no cold water. Do what you can to get that boiler on. And in the commercial world, you're more likely to be able to get it on because there's many boilers in a plant room normally. There's usually many pumps in a plant room. And there's usually many things that you can do to get a system back on. It's very rare that you'll come across a situation where you cannot get the services back onto a building. And if you can't, be pretty sure that you've exhausted every single possibility to get it back on. All right, I think you heard me there. Okay. Priority number 1, even though I don't want to say this, I preferred priority number 2 being priority number 1, being that boiler or plant room paramedic. But priority number 1 is safety. At the end of the day, this one goes over them all. That you cannot bypass things, for instance, just to get people hot water or heating when safety is concerned. You cannot leave a boiler on when it's dangerous. Safety is the key thing, and you're meant to be a safety advocate. When it comes to safety, you need to be, even if you don't want to, you need to be the type of person that is promoting safety non-stop. You're Mr. Safety. Yeah, everything about safety, especially when it comes to gas or when it comes to risk assessments and safety in a plant room, or just generally when people are doing things dangerous, you need to speak up and say, I think safe isolation, you should be doing this, and you should be doing that, etc. Everything is about safety. You're not going to know everything about safety, and you're never going to be perfect about safety, but you need to always be trying to work safer and safer and promoting safety around you, and trying to prevent those accidents taking place to yourself and to others. So be a safety advocate, promote safety to the client, to everybody. And safety is also one of those things that you can make money from. We were talking earlier about being cash cows. The whole world uses safety as something to make money from, laws and so on. So you can generally, without being dishonest, make money from safety factors. When something's not safe, you flag it up against the client, and your company can make money from the lack of safety in a building. So it's not all a bad thing, safety. Many people make money from safety and always will. Nonetheless, the most important thing is to safeguard life and property among anything else. So strive to be a safety advocate and try to make less people in the world die of carbon monoxide by your influence, and also less gas explosions, etc. Less people being killed or electrocuted in plant rooms or in houses because maybe you've said something and you've saved someone's life without them realizing. So strive to be a safety advocate. Those are my top 7 priorities for gas engineers. Let me know what you think or what's important to you. If you agree, disagree with some. Until next time, bye.